Welcome to Panels and Borders. I'm Dominic. This is another episode of Road to Dune. So, some big Dune news came out a little while ago, and Brian Herbert tweeted it out. I'm writing the Dune graphic novel script with Kevin J. Anderson. This is an exciting new project. More are in the works. So, there is a Dune graphic novel coming out. A Dune comic, so that is going to be really cool. And Entertainment Weekly did an exclusive on it, so I'm going to go through the story and then I'm going to talk about this news. See first images from the Dune graphic novel. New year, new Dune. If we know one thing about 2020, it's that this is going to be a big year for Frank Herbert's iconic sci-fi novel. Not only is Dune being adapted as a film for the second time, but EW can exclusively reveal that the 1965 book is also being adapted into a graphic novel by Abrams Books. It will be written by Brian Herbert and Kevin J. Anderson, and illustrated by Raul Allen and Patricia Martin, with covers by Bill Sienkiewicz. The graphic novel will split the first Dune novel into 3 parts, the first of which will hit shelves this October. Sienkiewicz's covers for the 3 installments will form a triptych image together, and he also created a logo for the series, which you can see below. I am pleased to present this faithful graphic novel adaptation of my father's masterpiece, Herbert said in a statement. This is the first time Dune has ever been published in this format, and will introduce many new readers to Frank Herbert's fantastic universe. So there's some really exciting stuff about this project that's coming out that I want to talk about. But first of all, I'm going to go through the images. So first, here's the logo. This is what the logo of the graphic novel is going to look like. And this was designed by Bill Sienkiewicz. And so now let's take a look at some of the character designs. So now this is a character design for Paul Atreides. Now, one thing I kind of noticed about this still suit is up around the neck. It reminds me of the David Lynch film, still suits that were in that film. But it's quite a bit different, and different enough that it stands on its own. Now, the only thing about this costume design that I'm not really keen on is the white in the costume. Like, I think it would be better if it was all gray, or even if the white was black, or even a tan, like the color of the desert sands. That would make more sense to me. I just find the white is kind of bland looking. But, these are just character designs. They usually they just don't do one character design when they're designing the character and just go with that one. So they do a bunch. So what we're going to see in the final comic will probably look quite a bit different from this. So next one, this is Duke Leto, and for this graphic novel, looks like they're going with the clean shaven Duke and not the Duke with a beard like in the 84 film. And Oscar Isaac, I think, is going to have a beard in the new 2020 version. So and the other thing is they've got the red hawk symbol on the breast of the uniform there. And one thing about the Frank Herbert books is he doesn't go into a lot of detail about what the uniforms actually look like. So there's a lot of leeway you've got there for what you can design for a uniform. But the uniform here looks pretty solid. But again, like, this will probably be changed quite a bit when the final comic hits. And so the last one is Lady Jessica. So now this one is the least impressive one, I'm going to be honest. The way they've designed her dress and everything, it just is something about it. It's underwhelming or something. That's the only way I can describe it. But it just looks like an average dress you would see on any actress going to the Emmys or some award show. Now, granted, obviously, she's not going to wear the one dress throughout the whole story. They're probably going to have multiple costumes for the character in the story. So this just could be one. So, and again, we'll probably see a few different variations, and this probably won't be the final design for this particular costume. So it'll be interesting to see how everything actually looks when the comic comes out. So now, the other thing about this that has me really excited is Bill Sienkiewicz is going to be doing the covers. And he tweeted this out. As a forever Dune fan, I'm thrilled to be doing the covers for this graphic novel adaptation of the definitive science fiction classic. So, I don't know how many people are aware of this, but Bill Sienkiewicz, he actually drew and painted all the covers, drew the covers, did painted covers, drew covers, and did the interior artwork for the Marvel Comics adaptation of the David Lynch Dune film in 1984. So here's a look at one of the covers he's painted, and the interior art, which was really awesome. So I have the 4 Marvel Comics of the David Lynch's Dune, and the 4 covers are painted. And then I think the cover that you see in this picture here, that was when they reprinted them all in one big book, and he did like another painted cover just for that one. But there's actually quite a bit of his artwork floating around that was done for the 1984 Marvel Comics adaptation of David Lynch's Dune. And what would be really cool, honestly, what would really get my rocks off about this comic that's coming out, if Bill Sienkiewicz did all the artwork for it. So if he painted the covers, but he did, like, all the interior art was painted as well by him. That would be really cool. That would be really, really awesome. That would be like a deadly comic. So Dune has been made into a comic before, but just not the book. It was one of the films. And this is something I'm surprised they haven't done sooner. And now the one thing that doesn't surprise me is that Brian Herbert and Kevin J. Anderson are going to be writing it. Who else is going to write it? Obviously, they're going to adapt it. There's no logical reason why anyone else would. But there was talks of a Dune comic like a long time ago, and then for whatever reason it didn't materialize. But finally we're getting it because the new movie's coming out, and this comic is going to be out in October, and it's going to be close to the film. Now what's going to be interesting is, now Brian Herbert and Kevin J. Anderson have already written a bunch of Dune books, so they know the Dune lore. But all the material that they've written has been original Dune stories that they've written themselves. So what's going to be interesting to me is see how they actually adapt something that Frank Herbert wrote into their words, if you know what I mean. So they're not adapting one of their own books, they're actually adapting the original Dune to a comic. So it'll be interesting to see how they adapt that as like a contrast or a comparison of how they write their own stuff for the Dune universe. But in any case, this comic is something I'm going to definitely buy. This is exciting news for me as a Dune fan and a comic book fan. So that's everything I got to say in this video. Let me know what you think in the comments section, and I will see you at the next one. Thank you to all of my subscribers, and thank you for watching this video. And if you're new to the channel, like, subscribe, and share. And don't forget to hit the bell icon for notification when new videos are uploaded.